You think you're making your own decisions. But what if your thoughts were never yours to begin with? What if every reaction you have, every desire you chase, every thought you believe, was never born from your soul, but planted by the world? This isn't just a video. This is the moment you pause and ask, who am I, without the noise? Let's find out. 1. You keep feeling exhausted without doing anything. You didn't lift anything heavy today. You didn't run miles. You didn't face a major crisis. But your body feels like it's carrying the weight of the world. Your back hurts. Your eyes sting. And your heart. It just feels tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but the kind that creeps into your soul. It starts the moment you wake up. You check your phone. You see people living perfect lives, smiling, achieving, celebrating. And without even realizing it, you feel like you're falling behind. Then comes that one message, or one memory, and suddenly you're reliving a moment you thought you moved on from. Your mind replays it 100 different ways. What you should have said, what you should have done, why it still hurts, why it still matters. And that's just by noon. By the end of the day, your mind has been through 10 wars. Most of them invisible, but real enough to leave you mentally bruised. That's why your body feels tired. Because it's carrying the emotional weight your heart never got to release. You're not lazy, you're not weak, you're just overstimulated. The noise of the world has filled every corner of your mind, every notification, every comparison, every unsaid word. It's all piling up, without rest, without silence. But here's what no one told you. Your mind isn't meant to be on all the time. You're not a machine. You're a soul. And your soul needs stillness. Buddhism gently reminds us, we suffer not because of the world, but because we cling to every thought, every emotion, as if it's the truth. But not every thought is real. Not every feeling is final. Not every memory needs to be unpacked again and again. What if, instead of reacting, you simply watched the thoughts come, and watched them go, like clouds passing through a wide blue sky? You don't have to believe every voice in your head. Some of them are echoes from the past. Some are fears dressed up as facts, and some were never yours to carry at all. Healing doesn't always mean fixing everything. Sometimes it just means pausing, breathing, and saying, I'm tired. Not because I'm broken, but because I've been carrying too much for too long. And maybe today, you don't have to carry it all. Maybe today, you just breathe. You just observe. You just let go. And that might be the beginning of peace. 2, your emotions feel like they belong to everyone except you. You start your day with a calm heart. But then someone enters the room with a bad mood, and it clings to you. Someone raises their voice, and suddenly you feel like a child again. Someone's silence feels cold, and now your whole day feels off. Have you ever wondered, why does everyone else's energy feel stronger than yours? Why is it so easy for other people's emotions to become your own? It's like your heart is a sponge, soaking in everything around it. The stress, the sadness, the tension, the judgment. Even if it's not yours, somehow it still weighs on you. You walk into a room, and you instantly know if something's wrong. Before anyone even says a word, you feel the shift, you feel the pressure, you feel everything. And that can be a beautiful gift, You care deeply. You sense what others miss. But somewhere along the way, you forgot how to separate what's theirs from what's yours. You forgot that just because someone else is angry doesn't mean you have to carry that anger too. Just because someone else is lost doesn't mean you have to lose yourself trying to fix them. Buddhism teaches us to become the observer, not the reactor. To remain like a still lake, even when stones are thrown into it. Because emotions are like ripples. They come, they pass. But if you attach yourself to every wave, you'll never know your own depth. The truth is, when your peace depends on how others feel, you've given your power away. You become a puppet to moods, a mirror to reactions, a prisoner of other people's storms. But you don't have to live like that. You can feel without absorbing. You can love without losing yourself. You can care without collapsing. How? By remembering this one thing: your heart is sacred, and not everyone deserves a key to it. So the next time someone projects their pain onto you, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this emotion really mine? Or did I just borrow it? If it's not yours, return it. With love, but with strength, because your peace isn't selfish. It's your center. And once you reclaim it, you become the calm in every storm. 3. You're achieving more, but feeling less alive. You're ticking off goals. You're reaching milestones. From the outside, it looks like you're winning, but deep down, you feel like something's missing. You smile when people congratulate you, but you don't feel the joy they expect you to feel. You're achieving more, but somehow feeling less alive. And here's the hardest part to admit. You don't even know why. You thought success would feel different. You thought once you reached this point, peace would come. But instead, you're moving faster than ever, and yet feel more lost than ever. Because you're not burned out from working too much. You're burned out from running in the wrong direction, chasing titles you don't even care about, keeping up with expectations that never end, trying to prove something to people who aren't even watching anymore. The applause fades, the high disappears, and all that's left is silence and a question. Is this all there is? Buddhism teaches something so different from the world's message. The world says, become more. Buddha says, unbecome. You don't need to add more to feel alive. You need to peel away the layers that never belonged to you. The pressure, the roles, the fear of falling behind. Real aliveness isn't in the next achievement. It's in the present moment. But when was the last time you fully tasted it? The last time you laughed without guilt, sat in silence without fidgeting, did something without trying to post it? We've all been taught to chase meaning, but forgot how to make meaning out of the moment. You don't need to escape your success. You just need to slow down enough to feel it, to breathe, to notice, to be. Because what's the point of gaining the world if you lose your wonder along the way? Success without soul is just a shiny prison. But presence will always set you free. So maybe today, you stop chasing and start living. Not for the world, not for validation, but for the part of you that's been waiting quietly inside. Just to feel alive again. 4. You keep pleasing everyone, but losing yourself. You're the one who always shows up. You make time for everyone. You say yes, even when your soul is begging for no. You smile to keep the peace, even when it costs you your own. And lately, something inside you feels empty. Not because you don't love others, but because in trying to be everything for everyone, you've become almost nothing to yourself. You don't even know what you want anymore. You hesitate to speak your truth, afraid it'll hurt someone. You feel guilty for resting. You feel selfish for having needs. You feel like you're disappearing, one favor at a time. And here's the hardest truth of all. You've trained people to love a version of you that's not even real. A version that's always agreeable, always available, always fine. But who's loving you when you're finally honest? Who stays when you set a boundary? Who respects you when you say, I can't? Buddhism teaches compassion, but not self-abandonment. Even the Buddha himself walked away from a life of comfort to find his truth, not because he didn't care about others, but because he cared enough to live honestly. Your kindness is beautiful, but if it's draining your spirit, it's no longer kindness. It's quiet self-destruction. You don't have to be rude to be real. You don't have to be cold to be clear. You can be soft and still say no. You can be giving and still choose yourself. You can love others deeply and still protect your inner peace like a sacred flame. Because every time you betray yourself to keep others comfortable, your soul dims a little more. But you can choose differently now. You can start asking, is this truly me, or just a performance I've been trained to play? And if it's the latter, let it go. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to be free, and the day you choose your truth over their approval is the day you finally start to feel whole again. 5. You can't sit alone without feeling uncomfortable. You say you want peace. You say you just need a break. But the moment everything gets quiet, you reach for your phone. You scroll. You refresh. You open and close apps you're not even interested in. You turn on background noise, even if you're not listening. You look for someone to text. You stare at the ceiling, restless. Because silence? It's not calming for you. It's uncomfortable. Like the walls are closing in. Like something's about to surface that you're not ready to face. You try to relax, but your chest tightens. Your breath gets shallow. Your thoughts start racing, louder than any noise outside. You remember things you thought you forgot, things you never made peace with. Old guilt, unanswered questions, words you wish you never said, or wish someone had said to you. And suddenly, your mind becomes a battlefield. Even though the world around you is still, you're not broken, you're not strange, you're just overdue for inner connection. Most people think peace means quiet surroundings, but real peace is quiet within. And that kind of silence only comes when you stop running from yourself. Right now, you're not escaping boredom. You're escaping presence. You don't know how to just be. Without a distraction, without a screen, without an audience. You've been conditioned to believe that doing nothing means you're wasting time, that rest is laziness, that productivity equals worth. But Buddhism teaches something completely different. The Buddha sat in stillness, not because he had nothing to do, but because he knew. All truth is revealed in silence. When you sit with yourself, with no mask, no performance, no escape, you meet the real you. And at first it's scary, because we all carry things we've buried. But underneath the anxiety is truth. Underneath the noise is peace. And beneath the discomfort is the freedom you've been chasing in all the wrong places. The silence you fear is where healing starts. When you stop filling every gap with noise, you finally create space for clarity, for growth, for spiritual awakening. And here's the paradox. The more you avoid silence, the louder your suffering becomes. But the more you embrace silence, the softer everything gets. You begin to realize you don't need to fix every thought. You don't need to run from every emotion. You don't even need to make silence feel comfortable. You just need to sit. Let the waves of discomfort rise and pass. Let the tightness in your chest melt with each breath. Let the voices in your mind speak until they lose their power. Because the one who can sit with stillness without panic is the one who cannot be controlled by the world anymore. That's power. That's liberation. That's Buddhism. And maybe you're not afraid of being alone. Maybe you're afraid of finally hearing what your soul has been whispering all along. I'm still here. I've always been here, waiting for you to come home. 6. You keep reacting to everything and regretting it later. You don't mean to lose control. You don't want to be the person who overreacts to every little thing. But it keeps happening. It could be something so small. A slow reply, a slightly different tone, someone not looking at you the way they usually do. And suddenly, your mind starts spinning. What did I do wrong? Are they mad at me? Why am I being ignored? Before you even realize it, you're drowning in emotion. You send a message too fast. You say something you don't mean. You raise your voice. You shut down completely. You think you're protecting yourself, but you're really just reacting from pain you never healed. Because every overreaction is a hidden wound. A moment from the past that still echoes in your nervous system. Someone betrayed you. Someone embarrassed you. Someone made you feel like your voice didn't matter. And now, every situation feels like a repeat of that pain, even when it's not. But here's the thing. Buddhism teaches so gently. Pain is real, but reaction is a choice. Your triggers are not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Because without awareness, you'll keep giving people power over you. Power to change your mood. Power to hijack your peace. Power to make you forget who you are with one careless word. And let's be honest, how many peaceful moments have you ruined in your own head? How many beautiful days have you poisoned because of one thought? We spend so much time trying to control people, conversations, situations, just to avoid feeling a certain way. But the truth is, you don't need to control the world. You just need to control your center. And that starts with a pause. That one breath between the trigger and the reaction, that's where your entire life can change. Because in that breath, you can say, I don't need to defend myself right now. I don't have to prove anything. I'm safe. This is not the past. This isn't about me. This is their projection. This feeling will pass, like all things do. I am the witness, not the storm. The more you train your mind to pause, the more your peace becomes unshakable. You'll stop matching the chaos around you. You'll stop giving in to emotional blackmail. You'll stop being controlled by every rise and fall of people's moods. You'll finally understand what real strength is. Not in how loud you are, not in how fast you respond, but in how still you remain when everything inside you wants to explode. That's not suppression, that's awakening. You're no longer reacting because you're afraid. You're responding from clarity, from calm, from compassion. And that shift, that one shift, will change your relationships, your health, your self-worth, your entire reality. So the next time the fire rises in your chest, when the anger, fear, or panic starts building like a wave, just remember, you are not the wave. You are the ocean beneath it. Breathe, pause, choose, not for them, but for you, because your peace is too precious to be wasted on what doesn't matter. 7. You know something's missing, but you can't explain what. There's a quiet ache in your chest, not loud enough to scream, but deep enough to never fully go away. Your life is fine. You have things to be grateful for. You laugh. You show up. You function. But deep inside, there's this whisper. Something's missing. And the hardest part? You can't even explain what it is. It's not a person, not a job, not money. It's something else. Something that no achievement or relationship has ever filled. You try to ignore it. You tell yourself you're just tired. You bury it under new goals, new distractions, new plans. But it always finds you again. In the quiet moments, right before sleep, when you're alone with yourself. It returns as a question that makes your chest tighten. Why don't I feel whole? It's not that you're broken. It's that you've been disconnected from your own depth for so long. You forgot what it means to feel fully alive. You've been busy surviving, busy becoming who others expected, busy chasing timelines and milestones. And somewhere in all that noise, you drifted away from yourself. You became everything except you. Buddhism gives this feeling a name, dukkha, the quiet dissatisfaction of life that lingers even when everything seems okay. It's the soul's way of speaking, without words. A message from within saying, come back to yourself. You weren't made to live on autopilot, to check boxes, to wake, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. You were made to notice, to breathe, to feel the wind on your face and the stillness in your heart. But here's what no one told you. That missing feeling isn't a flaw. It's a compass. It's trying to lead you away from the surface and back to your center. You don't need to add anything to your life. You need to subtract the noise that's covering your truth. Because underneath the overthinking, underneath the doubt, the rush, the roles, there's a version of you that already exists. Still, gentle, powerful. The you that watches sunsets without needing to post them. The you that feels peace just sitting quietly with yourself. The you that doesn't need approval, because you're rooted in presence. And maybe what's missing isn't something out there. Maybe it's the forgotten connection to what's always been within. To the child version of you who once felt awe in simple things. To the soul version of you who never needed validation to feel worthy. To the true version of you who can sit in stillness and feel complete. Buddha didn't find that peace in a palace. He found it beneath a tree, in silence, by doing nothing except finally being. You don't have to climb mountains. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to slow down and ask, what part of me have I been ignoring? Maybe you've been too available to the world and not available enough to your soul. Maybe you've been chasing what shines instead of listening to what calls. And maybe this ache you feel isn't a problem. Maybe it's the start of your return. Return to breath. Return to presence. Return to yourself. Because what you've been looking for isn't missing. It's waiting. Within you. Always has been. And now, You're finally ready to meet it. Your mind is not broken. It's just been overstimulated. Your heart is not weak. It's just been silenced by noise. But now, you see it. The thoughts were never really yours. The pain wasn't your identity. The chaos was never your truth. This moment is your return. Breathe, observe, unplug. Because your mind is not a cage, it's a sky, and the Buddha's whisper is still echoing. Let go and be free.